It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. Whoa. Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome back. Whoa. Well, it looks like there's an extra thing open, guys. Hold on 1 second. Oh, there it is. Okay. Killed it. All right, guys. Welcome back. Holy cow. I feel like I just got 20 minutes off, but this is great because I love coming on here and talking with you guys. And this is not just a recap. This is a live discussion with all of you guys, Adam Angel Nation, showing up for the Real Housewives of Potomac finale because guess what, guys? It's finally over. This long drawn out whole storyline that we've been going through is finally done, and we can talk about it. We can talk about it and we can leave it behind us. Of course, until we get the reunion, which I don't think we're going to want to leave that behind us because I can already tell you it's like a blobby sitting at that reunion. They are coming to read everyone for filth, especially Monique showing up with the binder, Candace and Monique for seeing each other the first time, Karen calling out Giselle's man in the phone. I mean, this is going to be big. But since we're not there yet, let's go ahead and start talking about the finale. And let me drop this link in case you guys want to call in. Okay. Guys, 44 in the room already. We're only been on for a minute, guys. Thank you. 44 in the room. Go ahead, hit that like button. Let's get some more eyes on this. I dropped the link for you guys if you want to call in, and let's get started. So, guys, we start off this episode with Giselle, and Giselle calls Juan in the confessional, and she's so shady. I just want to say that. She's so shady. When she calls Juan in the confessional, and she's like, hey, Juan, asking him about the proposal, asking him, hey, did you get cold feet? And he starts cutting out, and she's like, Juan? I'm like, okay, this is either really clever editing or Juan was just like, I know you, girl. I'm not going to sit here and let you put me on camera saying something. But that was what this whole episode was kind of supposed to be about. It was supposed to be Robin and Juan's engagement party, but it looks like Michael Darby and Chris Bassett end up stealing the show. Now we're going to end up talking about that in a little bit. But before we do, I want to kind of move on for a second because I was happy and surprised to see that we got Monique in a confessional at the beginning of this episode. Now, of course, they have to catch up with her and find out what's going on, where have you been, how have you been, and we can't just leave behind a housewife. Even though they were in a physical altercation, we still need to know what happened with this situation, right? When Monique ends up talking to the producers in her confessional, we see that she went to therapy and she feels like, you know, she filed, like Candace filed a claim, she filed a counterclaim, and she feels like she's been isolated, iced out, and that the women aren't treating her fairly. Almost as if they've jumped on the Candace bandwagon and they don't want to hear Monique's side. Now, there have been so many claims, guys, by different bloggers, by a ton of different people saying that there was this kind of gang up mentality going on here where Giselle, Robin, Dr. Wendy, Candace were all kind of gunning to take Monique out. They were trying to make sure that everybody would jump on the bandwagon and not film with Monique. Now, we did get a lot of the women not really filming with Monique, except for Karen and Ashley, who seemed like they were going to ride this fence and cater to both friendships. Even though we know technically Ashley Darby's really not friends with Candace, she even still gave her the benefit of the doubt in some degree, aside from writing the statement, which Dr. Wendy perceived as a character assassination statement. I don't know. It's interesting to me. Moving on, though, I think that it was interesting to see, since we're talking about Ashley Darby, she says that ever since they sat down with her family and Michael Darby met with her mom and her uncle, that everything's good. Everything has been great. Little baby Dean is growing up. He's a cute little handsome baby, too. Everyone does say that he looks like Michael Darby, so I don't know what that means for the future of him. But he is a good-looking little baby. So listen, let's leave Michael Darby and Ashley Darby and their little family alone, right? I did think it was ironic, however, she was talking about at the beginning of this episode how great they were doing. And then all of a sudden, by the end of the episode, it seemed like everything just went upside down the day before they took off for the Bahamas. I said Bahamas, but I mean Bahamas. I want to move over and give Candace the benefit of the doubt too, though, because we see Candace meet up with Dorothy. They start getting their nails done. Dorothy's obviously Candace's mom. And they're talking about everything that's been going on with Candace. Now, for Candace, her mom is very much so to her like my mom is to me. It's her rock, you know? So she reaches out to her. Her mom's been there for her. Her mom will also drag her for filth, and she'll knock her upside the head with a purse and say that Candace ran into her purse. But it does seem like she is that kind of foundation for Candace and a good go-to for her. Now, I don't know if it was a good go-to as far as like we need to handle this with legal matters or whatever the case was, because we know that ended up getting thrown out. But okay, we see that Dorothy had Candace's best interest. You know, at the end of the day, she's still a mom. So as a mom, no mom wants to see their kid get attacked or viciously kind of ripped over a table. And even if you're saying, what are you going to do? Drag me? It's like, she is still a mom. Dorothy was not there. All she sees is somebody just grabbing her across the head and ripping her across the table, mollywhopping her. And she's going to step into true mama bear mode. So good for you, Dorothy. We stand you. I'll just say that. Guys, 105 in the room. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. Let's keep it moving because I want to talk about Karen. Karen is going to defend herself. Let's just say that. Last time we saw Karen Huger, it was at the wig shift with the bang party. When we saw Karen Huger, she came in and she was talking about how, you know, these women are not going to put this on me. I invited Monique and Candace at 2 separate times to this party, and I was not trying to set up an ambush. So you guys are not going to rewrite this narrative. But for the women, they have a lot of questions, especially Candace, who's letting the women know she tried to get me to come early so I would cross paths with Monique. Now, in Karen, well, from her point of view and the receipts, which I want to say I have my speculation about this, even though I really like Karen, the receipts say that she invited Monique at 4 and she invited Candace originally at 5:30. Now, later in the episode, we find out, sure, you do have the receipts to prove that, but Candace is saying that Karen made a phone call inviting her, telling her to come a little bit earlier, around 5:15. Now, if that's the case, obviously that phone call was not recorded, and that's a clever housewife move. You get to show up with the receipt saying one thing, and then now this phone call is not documented, so who knows what you actually said on the phone call. But what I do have to say is later in the episode, when Candace ends up calling her out about it, Karen didn't deny it. Karen's like, yeah, I told you to come earlier, but it was still at a different time than Monique. We're going to end up getting back to this because once they start going at it later at the engagement holiday part, whatever you want to call Robin and Juan's party, Michael Darby and Chris Bassett go out too. So again, we'll circle back in a second, but let's keep it moving. We see Robin and Juan end up going to therapy, and okay, Robin came out and really seemed relatable in this instance only because we see that they're just a normal couple. You know, at the time that Robin had both of their sons, she was in a different place in her mind, and she didn't necessarily care what Juan was running around and doing, who he was giving it to, getting it from, whatever. Robin was just unbothered by this because she was a new mom. And as a new mom, she was focused on her babies. She wasn't focused on her husband going around acting like a baby. So when they talk about it in the therapy session, you know, it seemed like a lot of feelings ended up coming out. But it does seem like Juan takes full responsibility and he's ready to leave that chapter behind. We do have to remember, guys, and this is not an excuse at all, and I don't condone it by any means, but we do have to remember that, you know, Juan was a NBA baller. And with being an NBA baller, I'm sure that there were plenty of women and men, I'm sure there were plenty of everything, just throwing themselves at Juan because you see that he's in the limelight, you see that he has the money, and a lot of people, I mean, there are people lining up to be with football players, NBA player, all kinds of athletes. People line up every day to be with these people. So I'm sure he was propositioned a lot, and he ended up taking the bait, and that's when the infidelity was committed. But again, I just want to get to the main point. It seems like they've really kind of, over the years on camera, seems like they've worked out their differences and they're ready to move forward with their life and kind of leave this chapter behind them. Hopefully that's the case, especially because we know what happens at the end of this episode, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I just, you know, for once I was happy to see Robin on an episode. I hope that's not shady, but I didn't really care about the embellished hat thing, and then also the ageist like way that she treated Karen and iced her out of the photos, saying that she doesn't look right for the brand, or even like Karen said on the Wendy Williams show, you know, you just kind of cut your demographic for your brand in half. So only 20 something year olds can wear your hat. That makes no sense. I wouldn't have iced out the Grand Dame, but Robin didn't care to. A lot of you guys were saying that she was just reaching for a storyline, or she was just kind of doing Giselle's dirty work, because we know Giselle will go after Karen too. And the day before, Karen went after Jamal, technically saying, Giselle, we know your man lives in the phone. You didn't prove anything to me. So if that's the case, maybe Robin was, maybe she was coached, or maybe she just saw an opportunity and jumped on it, because she knows that she has to secure that housewife position. Especially if you're looking at $1.6 million homes, you better work on a storyline, sister, because this Engaged for the last 3-4 seasons is not a big one. I just want to say that. I do have a few callers already in here, and I'm going to bring them up and see what they think. And then we'll keep it moving and continue on with the conversation. 143 in the room, guys. Go ahead, hit that like button. Let's bring up our first caller. Hi, V.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you?
Yay, I'm good. I'm good.
How's the baby?
She's good. She's with her dad right now. So
okay. So you have time off.
Yeah, a little bit.
Good. Did you watch?
Yes, I watched. Yesterday was I watched Bravo from like 8 p.m. to like 11. It was.
Oh my gosh, it was so long yesterday, especially if anybody's a TLC fan too. It was like 4 hours of nonstop TV watching.
Right, I know. It was good. I like the episode. I'm kind of really looking forward to the reunion now because of that episode. One thing I can say, I did like the fact that this was the first time that I was like, oh, I love this about Robin. Why didn't they bring this up in the beginning of the season so we could have like followed along? But you could tell Wanda wasn't really like a big fan of the camera and stuff like that. So that's why he probably was at work all the time, and she wasn't able to like bring him into the storyline even more. But it was really good to see Robin, like Robin and Juan just go share with the viewers all that they went through and all that good stuff. Just like in a recap for us to see how far they've come, which is really good. I really appreciated that. But like one thing, because I'm not I wasn't a big fan of Robin. I was like, kick her off the show, but that was really good for her. Another thing I didn't like was Candace. No one can tell you how to feel, but you cannot play victim and then tell other people that what they're doing is unacceptable. Like she was saying to Karen, oh, how is she trying to do the work and feeling bad and remorseful about it, but she's
that was hypocrisy at its finest, though.
At its finest. I was in shock. I'm like, doesn't she do that all the time? It was insane. And
I have to say about that too is, I always try to be super careful when I come on here, because I never want to look like I'm contributing to any sort of witch hunt to take any of our housewives off. I think that they all offer their own dynamics, but I do like to come on and talk about the facts when the facts are just so in our face, right? They're just so black and white. And for Candace, she's talking about, acting one way in person, but then going on social media and acting a different way and being aggressive. But I think we can count on two hands all of the different moments where Candace has gone on and read people not only for filth, but taken it to a whole new level. And unfortunately, we know about some other things that have happened, right? But we don't even have to get into that. But it is hypocrisy.
It is. I mean, the thing is, she could have made the fans, with this whole narrative of her, them getting to the altercation, she could have turned the fans all the way against Monique and just been on her side. If she would have, been more, I guess, personal about it. I don't know. It was just like very, like all she wanted to do was attack everything about Monique. Like, but Monique didn't come back and call her anything out of her name or anything like that. But every time you see her in a confession room, she's calling her trash. She's calling her lawyer trash. It's just like, really, like
she called her indentured servants. Oh, dude, she is.
I mean, her mouth is what gets her in trouble.
Yeah, she literally became the Kelly Dodd of Potomac for a second with that reckless mouth. But I mean, it's interesting to watch. I think that we all know that Candace is now on a new movie, a new Christmas movie. So that's going to be exciting because we get to see maybe a true talent of hers come out. Like maybe she's a great actress, and that'll be awesome to see that craft come out and how she really works on that. But also at the same time, it's like watching throughout this season and seeing the sticky notes and seeing it just seemed like either it was one, and you can't, and this is the thing, it's like you have to handle this with kid gloves because you can't invalidate like what she's saying because we don't know how she feels. But the sticky notes seem like she was trying to say, like, to the courts, maybe look back, look at all of this footage. Like, I had to give myself like self-reassurance, like I was going to be okay. And I woke up every day and I was thinking that somebody was going to try to harm me. And that's a lot.
Mm-hmm. But I honestly, and then the thing is, to me as well, like when she's saying, oh, all of her trolls are coming after her online and things like that. For me, I think just log off. Log off of your Instagram, log off of your Twitter, just log off if it's really affecting you in so many ways. And then also, I'm pretty sure if something like this and you go to therapy or something like that, you probably could get a doctor's note to tell Bravo you cannot film because you are literally distraught about so much.
Well,
But
a lot of people don't know this, but if you actually sign on to a Bravo show, or if you're a housewife, if you're on any of the franchises, they actually offer therapy within the network. So you can go to therapy for free. You don't have to pay for therapy. It's not going to cost you any money. Bravo provides that. So she could have easily have had a therapist, especially they not only provide it, but then they get to film it. So come on.
And then Karen, she's my girl, but she just kept digging herself deeper and deeper. And I was like, come on, Karen, just come out and
The
say
KFC 4 chicken thighs, a coleslaw, and a biscuit. What are you talking about at this point? Just own your truth, and it's fine. It's like they almost crossed paths, and you made a boo boo. It's fine. You gotta own it though.
Just say my bad. I'm sorry. And when she did come, and I realized you were on your way, you just saw how I pushed her out of there to get out of there. But I wanted my friends to support me, just like I want you guys to support me. That is it. She shouldn't have been lying because it was just a lie. It was just so bad. And
V, can I ask you one thing? I'm gonna ask you one thing before we move on to I'm gonna go ahead and recap the rest of it and then bring you back up along with Gatatua and Mayela. But I want to ask you, do you think that this was strategic on Karen's end to send a receipt that she knows is now documented, but then also make a phone call that is technically not documented? She could have followed through with this and been like, I never said that. And she could have just stuck to that storyline and lied and kept us all in suspense, because that obviously was not a recorded phone call.
I mean, that's true. And I think she did that so she can show that. Yeah, I really do think she kept the receipt so she can show, I told you to come at 6:30 and I told her to come at 4, and she kept saying, oh, I knew she wasn't going to come early. How did you know that she was? I understand, like, Robin's always late or whatever, but
yeah, Robin, we would have believed that.
But you can't say that you don't know if she was gonna come on time or before the time that you told her to come. Like, come on.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, if you are around, just stay in the chat. I'm gonna bring you up with Gatatua and Mayela. We're almost at the end of this. I'm gonna hit the rest and see what you guys think, because this is an ish show.
It sounds good. Oh, and give my love to Pops too.
Oh, thank you. I definitely will. He always reads all of the comments and everything. So I'm sure, and he even watches, he's probably watching right now and saying, oh, I love you too, V.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, V.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, moving on really quick. And again, we're going to bring up our other callers. I dropped a link for you guys if anybody else wants to call in and join the conversation. But I want to talk about Candace heading over to Robin and Juan's and warming up her voice. She sounded like, it was kind of like a little ambulance. And I didn't mean to be annoying about that, but it sounded a little annoying to me to listen to. But hey, listen, I'm not a singer. I can't dance and I don't have style. So I'm not knocking her. If that works for you, that works for you. But what didn't work for her is when they set her up with that faulty mic. That wasn't cute. I just want to say that, because as soon as she goes on and goes like that whole bad mic kind of whatever frequency sound, and then she started singing a little a cappella at the beginning of her I See You remix, and then after singing the a cappella, the go-go music chimed in. Now, when she started singing, Ashley Darby threw a little bit of shade, and she's like, listen, you could have yodeling and throw a go-go soundtrack on it, and it's going to sound good, okay? Ashley, Candace has a good voice. We can't sit there and knock her. I think that she has a great voice, and I'm hoping to see if she's a great actress. I think that she has many other talents than just being on reality TV. And honestly, for Candace, it seems like reality TV offers a little bit of a tumultuous platform for her. And I don't necessarily know if everyone can handle that sort of platform. Receiving all the backlash and hate and people going at her, normally I think the general like rule of thumb is when people do go after you like that, you have to take the high road. When they go low, you go high. It's just, that's how it works. Otherwise, you're going to end up just kind of mucking it, and you don't want to do that. Candace is a respected housewife. She has a husband that has a great job. Her parents are also respected. She was a pageant queen, and many of you guys don't know this, but she has multiple businesses too. She has, I think it's a hair extension line and a few other things, but Candace has so many things working for her to where she doesn't need to necessarily rebuke every negative comment that comes her way. I think that she's slowly going to learn that along the way. And if she did end up making it to another season, I'm sure Bravo would be like, look, girl, no more. You can't keep attacking people on social media. It doesn't look cute. Because at the end of the day, Bravo's still a business. So, it just, again, I think it takes a special personality to be able to handle all of that negativity. It's a lot, and that would get under anybody's skin. When Ashley Darby, by the way, ended up coming up to the party, and before the yodeling and everything, she tried dropping this little bomb saying that Michael Darby told her that Juan said that there was no big kind of thing happening tonight, nothing big, nothing exciting. And I think Michael Darby thinks that him and Juan are pretty close. Like, well, if he were going to propose, that he would have told him, almost like a bro code. But also, Juan's not silly. He knows that all of this is being filmed, and they all just go and kind of run their mouths, and that's what they get paid to do. So he didn't want anybody ruining this moment for him and Robin, even though he did tell the number one like bone carrier of the group, which was Giselle. But it's Giselle's best friend, so she didn't technically ruin it for her. So good for you, Giselle. You didn't ruin it. Speaking of Giselle, Jamal didn't end up showing to this holiday party because it's a Saturday. Now, what that means is Jamal is a pastor, so he needs to be in church on Sunday. And I feel like it doesn't matter if it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We have 7 days to pick, but I feel like pick any of those 7 days and there will be an excuse for every single one of them as to why Jamal Bryant does not show up for filming. A lot of us, a lot of people, a lot of you think that this is just a fake contrived storyline. And listen, until we know, we don't know. Maybe that's what Monique is going to reveal in the reunion when she comes with her binder full of tabs and she goes through revealing what these women probably didn't want to be revealed. But again, after you ice somebody out and treat them a certain way all season, you have to know that Monique did not come to play. She's coming. She probably wrote those notes, studied those notes, color-coded those notes. She has pink for this person, purple for this person, yellow for this person. I am sure she is just ready to come and read everyone for filth. Again, because she's like, hold on, I have a note for that. Let me check that. So maybe this will be exposed as a fake storyline. Hopefully not, though, because Giselle's kids are involved at this point. She has them come on and film and talk about their dad. We don't want to see a fake contrived storyline. We don't want to see something that's pre-produced by the housewives. Unless you're the producer, let the producers produce the storylines. Otherwise, it starts to read through the camera, and then we're not buying it, and then we don't want to invest ourselves into the franchise. That's never a good sign. Guys, 230 in the room. Go ahead and hit that like button, but let's keep moving on. Karen didn't end up showing until later in the party because Karen was saying that she was having mechanical issues with her plane. Of course, Robin and everybody were alluding to the fact that Karen was trying to dip. She was trying to ditch because she left her wig shift with the bang party. Now, after Robin ended up doing his awesome little speech and giving Robin that massive ring, which was stunning, I thought it was super sweet, everything that he said. And all the women were like, whoa, crazy. And Giselle was like, back up, back up, back up. And they all started to kind of like back up for a second, giving them their space. Dr. Wendy Osefo just wild out, by the way. It was interesting. It was interesting to watch. Karen did finally show up. She said, listen, Robin never gets a moment. I'll give her a moment. Robin needs a moment. And it's like, okay, Karen, if you're going to show up, you don't have to show up and also be shady. But Robin doesn't miss a beat when it comes to reading Karen up and down. So Karen's not going to miss a beat when it comes to her. When they all end up sitting down, Charisse is sitting in the middle of the group. And I thought this part was kind of fascinating too, only because I've been in this situation. in general with the filming situation, where I've sat in the middle of a group that was filming and producers walk over and they're like, you don't get paid to be here, get up, and told me to get up and walk away. So I had to get up and walk away while they refilmed the exact same scene. And I feel like in this instance, Charisse is not a housewife, nor is she a friend of this season. So they just probably said, hey, listen, Charisse, we need you out of the screen. And then she was like, guys, I'm going to go get a drink. It's like, okay, are you? It looked like Charisse was really trying to secure a spot for maybe next season. Maybe she wants to come back to the Real Housewives of Potomac. We do have to give it to her. She did technically start with the rest of the women on the franchise, and maybe she's trying to pull a Sheree Whitfield on us. Maybe she went away and now she wants to come back. We saw her at the beginning of the season, and we also end the season off with her. So I'm not saying it's impossible. Once she ended up leaving the situation, though, we see Karen having to answer for why she left her own party. When Candace starts talking to her, Candace, just very much so like V said, well, first, Karen said Monique is working on herself. And then Candace is like, working on herself? What are you talking about, working on herself? How is she working on herself, then all of a sudden contradicting herself when she comes back on social media and she starts saying X, Y, and Z? That doesn't make any sense. But again, guys, like we said, this is not a witch hunt, but this is definitely hypocrisy at its finest. Karen ended up saying to all of them, I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to forgive you guys because you guys messed up my dinner that night. I ended up having to go to KFC and get 4 chicken thighs, a biscuit, and some coleslaw, and you ruined my dinner, so I'm going to forgive you. But all of the women are like, dude, this is not about KFC, and we don't care what you had for dinner. This is so much deeper than this. Did you try to set Candace and Monique up? I don't know. When Karen got confronted about the receipts, again, I feel like this is something that she tried to potentially kind of contrive, and maybe it would have worked out that way. But then when she made the phone call, she knew that it was undocumented. In my opinion, I think she knew it was undocumented, but I feel like she didn't really follow her idea of what she was going to do with this all the way through. I'm going to bring up another opinion right now, but before I do, I guess Karen was saved by the bell, because at the same very moment that the women are sitting there talking in circles and trying to figure out what exactly is going on, Michael Darby walks over to Chris Bassett and tells him that he needs to control his wife. Chris Bassett said, you need to back up off of me. After that, Chris Bassett kind of put his hand on his chest and started pushing him back like, bro, get off of me. And Michael Darby's like, you're touching me? You hit me. You hit me? And Chris Bassett never hit him. Sure, he was pushing him out of his space, and he did follow through, pushing him a good 10 feet back. And I even saw one of you guys are shady. One of you guys commented and said, Michael Darby should have fell on the ground and acted frail and started like shaking or something. And that's, listen, guys, that's not right. We don't want that. That's, again, that would be another pre-produced or something fake. And also, we don't want anybody to go to jail for not actually doing something that they didn't do. So I don't think that would be necessarily right. But what I can say is Michael Darby had a few too many drinks. That was very obvious, because even when his own wife was trying to defend him at first, she was sitting there going after Ashley Darby was going after Candace Bassett, and she was saying, oh, you want to go after Monique for putting their hands on people, but then this is how you guys act? And Candace started just kind of flailing off at the mouth too, back at Ashley. It was like, psst, psst, psst. But Michael Darby was going on and on saying, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to get my lawyer, and X, Y, and Z. I think he was taking it to a whole new level. But even when Ashley Darby was trying to calm him down, it was like there was no calming this man down. He went over to the production crew that was off to the side. And usually they do. They sit behind the scenes and they have iPads and they watch exactly what's going on the iPads. Like when we saw in the episode when they went to Portugal and they were watching when Dr. Wendy had the spider and the snake underneath her thing. They let the women watch it on the iPad and see exactly how it's filmed. Usually when they're filming, these producers and everything, they sit behind the wall and they watch exactly what's going on. And there's mics and earpieces in the other producers' ears and the film people's ears. And they're like, okay, you need to pan left, pan right. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, you have to realize this is still a show. And there's a whole production team behind it. But what I didn't understand is, why is Michael Darby going after production? When he went back there, they checked him really quick, though. And they were like, you can't be back here. And he's like, oh, everybody's going to start touching me again? You can touch me. You can touch me. And Ashley Darby was like, stop. Stop doing this. You're embarrassing me. But it seems like he didn't embarrass her too much, because shortly after she announced the the conception of her second beautiful baby to come, and they went to the Bahamas the next day. So it couldn't have been too awful. He didn't embarrass her too bad, I guess, but I'm going to bring up another opinion and see. Guys, 259 in the room. Go ahead, hit like, and let's bring up some more opinions. Hi, Gatatua.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, how are you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm going to add a few other into the stream with us, okay?
Oh, that's cool.
All right. Hi, Tammy.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yay!
Yay! I'm going to add one more person in with us really quick. Hi, Mayela.
Hi, how are you, Adam?
I'm good.
How
How
you
are
doing?
you? Wow.
I haven't seen you in a while.
Wow. Well, hey, listen, I'm always around, so stop by anytime.
I know.
Okay.
I'm at work.
Oh.
I locked the door.
Well, Mayela, since you're at work, we'll start with you first. What did you think of this finale?
It was a trip. Like, you know, with when what's his name? Michael Darby pushed her or whatever. I don't think he went really bad on Chris. He just like, to me, it felt like, hey, you know, control your wife. But I think because they have that beef, that's why Chris got kind of like in a little bit of that, you know.
And Chris was
But
kind of
I don't think he did it to be. Yeah, I don't think he did it like to come at him. I think they just don't like each other.
So
know?
you feel like Michael Darby didn't know that he was going to get some sort of reaction?
Well, when you're drunk, you don't know much. It's like, oh, nothing.
And
you know, it's like he probably just wanted to tell, hey, control your wife. But that's
in all
it.
fairness,
But then,
too, he does make poor decisions when he starts tipping the bottle, so that's
God.
fair.
Yeah, no, he does. He does. And then I don't know, that thing like, I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna sue you. It's like, relax, dude, chill. But
Yeah.
I think it was just one of those situations that is like, you know, it's on film and trying to give it back to Candace. But Candace also shouldn't have came out and what you gonna do with, you know, like I thought she was gonna say, you want to drag me?
Oh my gosh! I was like, no, not again. Oh, could you imagine that Michael Darby reaches over? Like, no, that would have been so bad.
I don't think that would happen. I don't think he would have been that retarded.
It would never. But all right.
I was gonna say something about Robin.
Yeah.
You know how when Robin didn't put the Karen on the pictures of Karen with the hat?
Yeah.
I think she's age shaming, and I think that's gonna hurt her business.
Well, Karen said that on the Wendy Williams show. She said, listen, you just cut your demographic in half.
I'm 58. I am not going to buy them.
Because of that?
You know, I'm not going to buy them at all.
Oh,
okay. Like, no, I'm good. I'll stick to my Nikes and my, you know. But no, she messed up on that.
That's fair.
Even if she wanted a storyline, she messed up. And I think it's time for her to hit the road.
Okay. Well, do you have an opinion on any of this?
Yes, I do.
Me?
Gatatua?
Yes. This is what I'm saying. For Charisse, I feel she like you know that ex who doesn't want to stay away, but you've moved on.
Yeah.
That's how I feel she is. So she's trying to come back so hard that she's trying to pop up in places where you would ideally say it was a public event. So I think she's trying to secure her spot for the next season. Do we really need her back? I don't think so.
See,
or
and
maybe we do, so that she can start some more point. She can start.
I don't know though. I mean, if she comes back next season, though, she'll be coming back going after Monique. Is what's going to happen because her and Monique beef, and obviously, I mean, we'll just have to see how this plays out. But I think it's okay if you don't add a lot of dimension to the housewives because it just makes you more of a normal personality, not so eccentric, and that's all right. I just agree with you. I don't feel like we necessarily need Charisse back.
Yeah, but doesn't Charisse have tea on Monique and Candace? Cheater, pumpkin eaters.
See, and I think
with the same guy.
Mm-hmm.
With a trainer.
But you see, that's the thing. That whole story about the trainer and Monique and whoever, it's not relevant because when you go that direction, you're about to touch a child. And that's where it becomes very sensitive. If you were just talking about someone who's having a relationship or an affair with someone, that's cool. But you see, this whole storyline, if it is to be brought up, has the potential of becoming very vital. I mean, very explosive, not vital. So it's not something that I would even try. If I was Bravo, it's not something that I would even entertain for a second.
Do you
unless
think that
she's bringing
Candace is going to
something
bring
else.
up the trainer at the reunion?
I think she might try,
Okay.
because the way Monique, okay, from the clip of the reunion I've seen from the trailer, I think she might try, because you could see Monique was ready with her receipts and everything. So at this point, if you're coming to me with receipts, I should be able to have something to dig back at you with. I shouldn't just take you and your receipts. So it should be like, I feel maybe they might try to bring that up.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And really quick, we haven't heard from Tammy. Tammy, what are your thoughts on all of this?
Well, I don't know. Well, okay, so I'm not a fan. Well, I am a fan. I'm a fan of everyone. I like Candace. I like Monique. In this season, I've kind of been leaning more towards Candace on the show, not outside
Okay.
the show.
Okay.
But I would say, not being biased or anything, but that altercation or situation between Chris Bassett and Michael Darby, I would have to blame it on Michael, because, you know, Michael had been throwing, even though Chris didn't hear it, but Michael threw shade at Candace and Chris the whole night. So it's already established that they don't like each other, right?
Right.
So he walks up to him and said, "Hey, you need to control your wife." Like, that's not how you talk to someone, and you don't even like the guy. So why are you, you know?
And it's not really your place to tell someone. And listen, and this is also grown woman business or grown women business. It's like, just, it never works out or pans out well when any of the house husbands get involved in the women drama. But
Yeah.
I feel like Michael Darby kind of feels like he has a leg to stand on with this, because all of the women go in on him every single season, and rightfully so. He gives them the ammunition, but they still drag him for filth every single season.
Right. So I understand that, but you know, you walk up to a man that you don't like, he doesn't like you, and says you need to control your wife. And my thing is, Candace is out of control. We know that. We've seen it. But telling someone they need to control their wife,
It's a bit aggressive.
It's aggressive, right? And
yeah.
Chris Bassett like backs him up, and I was here for it. I was like, look, Michael has gotten away with a whole bunch of crap. He's touchy. He's very handsy.
Infidelities, all kinds of stuff.
Yes, all kind of stuff. So I didn't feel bad for him. And then Ashley starts going after Chris or Candace. I don't really know which one she was talking to.
I think she was talking to Chris, but also Ashley Darby came in immediately defending her husband. And then I think at the end, she probably felt maybe a different way after seeing how intoxicated he actually was, because Ashley Darby is a pretty level-headed woman. I feel so. I mean, she gets messy, but now that she's become a mom, I feel like she just puts all of her stuff out there. She's like, listen, you can't say this about me. We were in an open relationship. We have infidelity. We have X, Y, and Z. It is what it is. Go at it. She owns it.
Is it weird?
Go ahead, get the two.
I'm saying, is it weird that I have a contrary opinion about Michael and Chris?
Yeah, wait, no, go for it. That's what we welcome here.
Yeah, because I feel it was an aggressive of him telling him control your woman, because if he had gone there to speak, the women will always be like, men should stay out of the women business. The same way, because I'm playing back when at the Real Housewives of Atlanta, when Greg and what's his name? Cynthia's ex-husband?
Oh, Peter Thomas.
Yeah, went at it because Peter confronted Nene face to face because they were friends. Remember
and she
that?
said he's acting like a DAMNBIT.
Yes, remember that. So I don't have a problem with a man telling a fellow man, please try to calm down your woman, because we know Candice can be extra at times.
But I don't think, though, I kind of agree, though, with Tammy in the sense that I feel like, sure, if you were in good standings with that person, then maybe that would kind of make sense. But if that's not your friend or not somebody that you would normally talk to, and then you have to work up a little bit of liquid courage to go over and tell somebody to control their wife.
But that's the thing. Like, if I have an issue with you as currently Adam, and I'm seeing your partner misbehaving in public, it's my time to come to walk to you to tell you, As much as you judge me, your partner is misbehaving in public, so please get your partner in check. So I felt he just take an opportunity to kind of voice his not concerns, but kind of misgivings of the two of them, because he has a problem with the two of them and not just one of them.
I
So
personally,
that's how I saw it.
I think that Michael Darby just wanted trouble. That's what I think. I think it had nothing to do with going to, let Chris know, give him a heads up as not a homeboy, but as like a colleague or whatever you want to call them, and say, hey, you need to go get Candace. She's tripping. I think he just wanted to start something. That's all I think. He was inebriated. He was on one. He just wanted to start something. And
just to be fair too, he threw kind of a silly shade at Chris, telling him a failed restaurant. It's like, Michael Darby, man, you closed down your restaurant. That's not.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not disputing at all with what you say. He was trying something. He was trying to start things up. But at the same point, if he was not drunk, if they were not in the situations that they were in currently, you would expect a fellow man to tell another man, please check your partner or please check your woman. But if the man had walked to the women and tried to check them, it would have been a whole entire situation. So I'm saying we need to also consider that it's not wrong for the man to confront another man to check the woman, because the women can be tripping sometimes.
It was just poor. Maybe it was just maybe the situation itself was poor. So the message was okay, but then the situation was like a little off. Maybe the timing and stuff, just because, listen, you can't have, if I have something to say to you and I have a few tequila shots, that whole thing that I have to say might change just a little bit.
Okay. So
exactly.
Adam, I have a question for you.
Yeah. Tammy, go ahead.
I know we haven't got to this yet, but the end of the episode, Monique's confessional, when
I died,
when she laughed,
it was like a maniacal laugh.
It was sinister. And
I was like,
I like Monique. Okay, like I said, I like Monique. I'm a fan of everyone, but I've kind of been leaning towards Candace on the show. I want to make that clear because she kind of got me with the sticky notes and stuff. Okay, I'm human, right?
Right.
So when I saw Monique say whatever she said, I can't remember, but she laughed. I was like, oh my.
Oh, I mean,
when
they did the update,
I enjoyed it.
Listen, when I watched it, I was like, and when they said, what is the update on the case? And she's like, okay, so both parties, they pretty much said that, this was a mutually consented fight and, and then she kind of ended it with, don't ask to be dragged and then feel bad because you actually got dragged and then you're embarrassed. So you're trying to put me in jail. It didn't work. So it got dropped.
So it's like, I understand that if we're if we're like in the, in the streets, like in real life, but like Monique wanting to be a businesswoman and get her podcast off the ground and be a socialite in Potomac and stuff, that wasn't really a good look. I don't think that was very pleasant. I get her stance, she felt threatened by Candace's words and, but I feel like laughing and then production kind of put the dramatics on it, like it echoed and stuff. I was like, wow.
Well, and then we also know too, I don't know if you guys saw the trailer for the reunion, but she also said when Andy Cohen asked her about it, she said, listen, I just want to say this. If I were going to get fired, I was going to go finish the job. And it's like, no, you have an opportunity. Just bite your tongue. It's like you have an opportunity to keep your job. Just bite your tongue.
I want them both to like just suck it up. Both.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over, Candace. Shut up.
Or is it?
Shut your
I
mouth,
have
Candace.
a question.
Yeah. Go ahead, Gatatua.
Sorry, Tammy was talking, so I'm letting her finish and I'll ask my question.
Oh yeah, go ahead,
no,
Tammy.
I was saying that I want them both to suck it up. Like, Candace, you know that you are verbally abusive. Shut up. Watch how you talk to people, okay? And then Monique, you cannot fight. You cannot fight at a 38-year-old, however old you are. You cannot put your hands on anyone because they said X, Y, and Z. And I want them to suck it up, not become friends or anything because they already hugged it out last reunion and that didn't work, but actually come to a middle ground to where they can move on, because this happened last year, but like they're reliving it, and it's just toxic, you know.
Yeah.
So
No,
they need to move on. Everybody, the whole cast needs to move on.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And real quick, before we end up moving on from this whole finale, I'm going to go around the room real quick, and then I'm going to bring V back up. But I'll start with you, Mayella. What are you looking forward to the most from the reunion?
All right, I gotta go work.
Okay. See you later. All right. I'm going to bring. Okay, V, I'm going to start with you really quick. Welcome back. I just want to know, what are you looking forward to the most from the reunion?
Okay, before I say that, I wanted to go back to what you said earlier about what Monique said about at the reunion about wanting to go back and drag her, like if she got fired. Monique
Right.
kind of cleared that up, like not really cleared it up because she couldn't really say anything, but basically the actual footage is basically saying, oh, when she looked back at the raw footage of the fight with the at the fight, with the court and all that good stuff.
Right.
They said basically like, you heard Candace saying, "You're gonna get fired. You're gonna get fired, B. You're gonna get fired, B." And she was like, that's what made her get even more enraged, was the fact that she said, "Oh, if I'm gonna get fired, then I'm gonna go back out there and finish her off."
Oh,
That's
so
what
they
she
just didn't
said.
show that part.
They didn't show that part. They just like, you know how they like to pull people in.
Okay. That makes sense.
I'm looking forward to that receipt book. That is
I think
going down in Housewives history, and watch other housewives do the same thing.
It's gonna end up being, I swear, like Ramona shows up and she'll have like a stack of papers, something like that. But this binder is gonna end up in the Watch What Happens Live clubhouse. I'm telling you, the binder is gonna make it to the clubhouse. It just is.
Yes. And then one thing I lived for the end was Wendy being like the Nigerian mama when she got proposed to and was like screaming and jumping up and down. I don't like Wendy, but that part had me laughing so hard.
She was out there. It was so funny.
Yeah. And Tammy, when you talked about, I'm sorry, I'm just like listening to you guys. When you talked about the laugh, to me, they just made it really dramatic. Because if you guys watch her confessional, she laughs at all the jokes she make. She literally makes jokes all the time, Monique. She laughs at all of them, but that one was super funny. I mean, like super like dramatic because of what she said. But she laughs at all of her jokes, so I didn't really take it the way you guys did.
Okay, that's fair. Tammy, real quick, I want to say, Hermione, thank you so much. Love you, Adam, Jason, Pops, and Adam's Angels. Hermione, we love you back. Thank you for the super sticker. And Tammy, I guess we'll start with you next. What are you looking forward to most in the reunion?
So I've been hearing, I saw Watch What Happens Live in like chat room that Giselle's gonna get it. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, she said that too. She said they went after her for 8 hours, and the last 2 of the 8 hours, she finally broke down and like lost it.
I'm ready. You know, Giselle has had her hand in so much crap, and she's gotten away with it for 5 seasons. It's time. It's time for her to be exposed, you know? And I'm glad that they didn't sit Robin next to her so she didn't have her support system. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She has to look across at her.
Yeah, it's time for her to get it. And I want it to come from every direction. Monique.
And Robin has to jump in too, just to be, I don't mean to cut you off, Tammy, but to be fair, if Robin doesn't start cutting in and going after and creating some other kind of conflict, like her going after Giselle might secure her spot for next season. But if she doesn't, she might just eventually get canned, just like Teddy did, who was best friends with Kyle Richards, who was instrumental in the whole Beverly Hills franchise.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm here for it. I'm here for Giselle getting what she deserves, because if you just go back and look, Giselle is the reason why Monique and Candace blew up that bad, you know? Giselle and just other people, everyone on the cast, almost besides Wendy, because she was new, but like everyone had their hand in it. And, you know, Giselle I feel like she was the mastermind behind it. So I am looking forward to her getting it. I'm looking forward to Candace crying. Did y'all see that ugly cry? Yeah. Like this time she was literally crying. You know, in the show she kind of like, you know, daps her tear duct, no tears. No, this time she was really ugly crying.
Yeah,
so I want to see who made her cry, and then, well, I mean, whatever. And then I want to see who Chris Samuels is going after, because he was pissed.
I agree. All right. I appreciate you, Tammy. Got the two?
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. We'll see you next time. All right. Right. Got the two?
Now mine is before I say what I'm looking forward to, I'm just thinking, like, if this binder lives up to the hype, I think we should have like a Bravo Hall of Fame where it can be put up and you know, framed and everything, where the rest of us can come and visit and go through the pages and everything.
In the little Bravo museum?
Like, yes, I think they need that, and it should be like given a Hall of Fame sort of award if it lives up to the hype. That is.
Okay, that's fair.
What I'm looking forward to, of course, is Giselle being drugged for the first time, and I think that will give perspective to the proper direction the show is supposed to be going, because there's a lot of storylines we can get from there from the next season. I don't think Pastor Jamal will show up. Is it pastor or reverend or bishop? Whoever.
He's not showing up.
I don't think he will show up. And I feel they should just give up with all this storyline about him being in the picture and everything. Let him just stay on the phone. We are content with that. For what's Candice? I hope they will bring a mirror for her or addresses and sticky notes, so that while we're going through the reunion, she can do the sticky note thing, so that, you know, she can keep strong and can get
shady over here.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm just over it. Like, I'm just, because okay, I'm looking at it from a legal perspective. I'm sorry, I'm not even looking at it from an emotional perspective, because I can be scrappy too. But if we are in a fight, I'm not expecting you to be over dramatic about it. Like, I'd rather you say we meet up somewhere else, we square it the second time and see who wins, then we get it. Or we apologize. We go to mediation and apologize to each other and move forward. I felt that was too much. And that's why I am like, sorry, but not sorry. Like, they give her addresses and the sticky notes so that she can sit there. Then she doesn't have to run away, so that we don't have to take away from the reunion. And I'm also just looking forward to see who Chris will come after. Because, there's just a lot.
I think that he's
mentioned about him and his family.
Yeah, he's going to be ready for everybody. I just want to say that. But also, Andy Cohen did say one time on Watch What Happens Live, you know, he gets really annoyed when the women walk off. It doesn't add a dramatic effect for him. For him, it just delays his day, because he's like, come on. Like, he just wants to power through the filming. And these are 11-hour work days for them, where they're just constantly sitting in front of the camera. And it's a lot. You have all the lights on you. You have the cameras. You have production in your ear. It's a lot. I mean, he does it like a pro, because he obviously is a pro. But once you walk off and we have to go get you, you have to fix your makeup. You have to stop crying. You have to be comfortable. It's like...
Exactly. And that's why they need to be all comfortable, so that they don't need to go. For Karen, bring her the KFC menu so that she doesn't have to leave. For Giselle, bring the phone, because then she can call Jamal comfortably.
They need to put him in a cage. Like Watch What Happens, or not Watch What Happens, like, you know, WWE, where you have a cage match and you can't actually get out. And there has to be like so nobody can actually exit. Put a little porta potty inside of the cage match and just let them go. That way nobody can leave. Put security. That way nobody can put their hands on each other and nobody can walk off.
Yeah, and then for Wendy, I don't even know what I'm looking for about her in the reunion. I just feel we're going to hear about the 4 degrees again, and how she's doing it for all us Africans out here, and Black people and everything. Like, that's what I feel. I don't know what else she's bringing to the table for the reunion. But
well, just to be fair, though, she did get a sponsorship by Degree Deodorant for mentioning those 4 degrees every episode.
Still, though, Adam, I have my own degrees. She didn't do anything to help me with those ones. We were not sharing when I was sitting for the exams. She wasn't there helping me with them. So she needs to stop. She needs to find something else that she can brag about. But I understand. I'm African. Like, if we don't have a family and children, we brag about education, because that's the other thing we are so big on. So I understand her in a way. And then now the last comment at the engagement party. I don't know, but I feel there's not going to be a wedding. I'm sorry to say that, but I just feel like they're trying to make an extension of their time on the show.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I feel like we're going this we might have another engagement in the next season without a wedding. Then lastly, Wendy brought all the Africans out. We ululate anytime someone is going through a happy time. We ululate, we take over the scene. You might think we were the ones who were getting engaged at that point. So for that, I commend her.
I thought she was so funny, especially she was celebrating so hard for Robin. She was like, "Rah!" It was crazy. It was great.
So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, Getatua, I appreciate you sharing your thoughts and what you're hoping to see in the reunion. I agree with you on so many points. Alongside Mayela, V, and Tammy, I feel like everybody has their own valid points. And what I do love is that we can all come here and not agree and still just be respectful about it. So I always thank you for that.
Thank you very much. I hope my connection wasn't sucky today because my Wakanda network is acting up. So
no, it's
regardless.
You're fine. I promise. Call in anytime.
Thank you very much, Adam. Have a good one.
Right. See you next time.
Okay.
All right, guys. And I think for myself, I guess what I'm looking forward to the most has to be this receipt book and seeing what Chris Bassett has to say when he shows up. Now, again, guys, we know the husbands don't usually come until the end, so it's probably not going to be until part 3 of the reunion. Maybe it would even be at that latter end of part 2, but I feel like it's going to take us a minute, maybe like 2-3 weeks before we get to actually see that. But what we will see next Sunday, or I think it's next Sunday. I don't know. I have to check the date. I'm pretty sure. Why wouldn't they make it next Sunday? We're going to see the receipt book come out, and we're going to see Candace and Monique come face to face for the first time, which is going to be interesting to say the least. Guys, if you haven't already, we have over 270 something in the room at one point. Go ahead, hit that like button, show some love, and we're going live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to recap season 13, episode 1 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I just tripped over my tongue for a second with one of my favorite special guests that I've ever had on the channel. She does not hold back. She's not coming to play. It's going to be good. All right, guys, go ahead, hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Happy Monday. Bye, guys. Oh my gosh, you have no idea who's coming. It's going to be great.